Alright, basketball fans, the NBA playoffs are notorious for their intensity, their drama, and the razor-thin margins that often separate victory from defeat, especially in the final seconds of a close game. In these moments, officiating decisions, or the lack thereof, can become magnified and spark significant controversy. That was certainly the case on Sunday afternoon, as the New York Knicks secured a narrow one-point victory over the Detroit Pistons in Game 4 of their opening round series. A win that was immediately overshadowed by a highly debatable no call on the game's final play. The New York Knicks escaped Little Caesars Arena in Detroit with a 94-93 win over the Pistons. A victory that gives them a commanding 3-1 lead in the best-of-7 series and puts them in a strong position to advance. However, the manner in which the game ended left the Pistons and their head coach understandably frustrated. And the league's subsequent review has validated their complaints. The dramatic final sequence began with the Pistons trailing by a single point with just over 11 seconds remaining on the clock. They had possession and were looking for a game-winning shot. Pistons star Cade Cunningham took a shot from the left elbow, but it was off the mark. After a scramble for the loose ball under the rim, it was kicked out to Tim Hardaway Jr. in the corner. Hardaway had just enough time after receiving the pass to get a shot up before the final buzzer sounded. As Hardaway pump-faked and went up for his potential game-winning shot, he was heavily contested by Knicks guard Josh Hart. Reports indicate that Hart drew a lot of contact on Hardaway during his shooting motion. Contact so significant that it reportedly knocked Hardaway into a row of photographers on the baseline, causing his shot to miss the rim entirely. However, despite an official standing right next to the play, no foul was called on Josh Hart. With no foul called and the buzzer sounding, the New York Knicks celebrated their one-point victory. Meanwhile, Pistons head coach J.B. Bickerstaff was understandably furious. He immediately charged out onto the floor to scream at the officials for not calling a foul on that final pivotal play. However, the officials reportedly ignored him and walked off the court as the Knicks celebrated around them, adding fuel to the fire. Both the officials themselves and the NBA league office later confirmed that a mistake had been made on the play. After the game, crew chief David Guthrie, when asked about the final play, admitted that their initial judgment during live play was that Josh Hart made a legal defensive play. However, he stated that, after post-game review, "We observed that Hart makes body contact that is more than marginal to Hardaway Jr. and a foul should have been called." Furthermore, the NBA's official last 2-minute report, released on Monday, confirmed this finding. The report stated that Josh Hart made body contact to Hardaway Jr. during his shooting motion that is more than marginal, unequivocally agreeing that a foul should have been called. Even Josh Hart himself did not hesitate to admit that contact occurred on the play, although he deferred to the league's review on whether it was legal. Hart said, "Did I make contact with him? Yeah, I made contact with him. Was it legal? I don't know. We'll let the 2-minute report say that." He noted it was a tough play at the end of the game with bodies flying. The consequence of this missed foul call was direct and significant. Had a foul been called on Josh Hart, Tim Hardaway Jr. would have been sent to the free throw line, as he was shooting a three-pointer. A foul on that attempt would have typically resulted in 3 free throws, giving him the opportunity to win the game for the Pistons from the line. Instead, no foul was called, the shot missed, and the Knicks won by 1 point. This controversial ending occurred on a Sunday where another one-point playoff game also featured a crucial uncalled foul late in the game that was later confirmed by the last 2-minute report: the missed tripping foul on Luka Doncic in the Lakers-Timberwolves game. These incidents highlight the ongoing scrutiny of officiating, particularly in high-leverage playoff moments. Despite the controversial finish, the New York Knicks secured the victory. Jalen Brunson led the way for the Knicks with 32 points and 11 assists. Despite leaving the game briefly with an injury, Karl Anthony Towns added 27 points and 9 rebounds. And Josh Hart finished with a double-double, 14 points, 10 rebounds. For the Pistons, Cade Cunningham had a strong game with a triple-double, 25 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds, becoming the second player in franchise history with a playoff triple-double. Tobias Harris added 18 points, and Tim Hardaway Jr. finished with 14 points, though he struggled from three-point range overall, 4 of 13. Interestingly, the Pistons statistically outrebounded the Knicks by 16 and outscored them in the paint by 16, suggesting it was a game they could have won regardless. The Knicks now have a chance to close out the series in Game 5 on Tuesday night at Madison Square Garden. The Pistons, down 3-1, will be fighting to extend their season. In conclusion, the New York Knicks took a 3-1 series lead over the Detroit Pistons with a dramatic 1-point win in Game 4. But the victory is overshadowed by a controversial missed foul call on Tim Hardaway Jr.'s potential game-winning shot. Both the game officials and the NBA's last 2-minute report have confirmed that a foul should have been called on Josh Hart, validating the Pistons' complaints and highlighting how a crucial officiating error directly impacted the outcome of a tight playoff game, leaving the Pistons understandably frustrated as they face elimination while the Knicks look to advance. Alright, we saw a wild finish and significant controversy in the NBA playoffs on Sunday afternoon. The New York Knicks defeated the Detroit Pistons 94-93 in Game 4. A victory that gives the Knicks a 3-1 lead in their first-round series. But the win came after a highly debated no call in the final seconds that drew immediate outrage from the Pistons bench. With the Pistons trailing by just 1 point, Tim Hardaway Jr. got the ball in the corner for a potential game-winning three-pointer just before the buzzer sounded. As Hardaway went up for the shot, he was contested by Knicks guard Josh Hart, and there was clearly significant contact. Hardaway was reportedly knocked into a row of photographers along the baseline, and his shot missed the rim entirely. Despite all that, the official standing right there did not call a foul on Josh Hart. That no call allowed the New York Knicks to escape with the 1-point victory. The reaction from the Pistons was immediate and intense. Head coach J.B. Bickerstaff stormed onto the court to scream at the officials for the missed call while Knicks players celebrated their win. In a notable development, the officials who worked the game admitted after the contest that they had made a mistake. Crew chief David Guthrie stated that after reviewing the play, they determined that Josh Hart made body contact that is more than marginal to Hardaway Jr., and a foul should have been called. The NBA later confirmed this finding on Monday in its last 2-minute report, agreeing that a foul was indeed missed. Even the player involved, Josh Hart, admitted making contact after the game, although he questioned if it was a legal play in the final chaotic seconds. The consequence of that missed foul was significant. Had it been called, Tim Hardaway Jr. would have gone to the free throw line for 3 shots with a chance to win the game for the Pistons. Despite the controversial ending, the Knicks were led by strong performances from Jalen Brunson, who scored 32 points and had 11 assists even after a brief leg injury scare in the second half, and Karl Anthony Towns, who added 27 points. For the Pistons, Cade Cunningham had a triple-double with 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. Regardless of the admitted missed call, the New York Knicks came away with the win and now hold a 3-1 series lead, giving them an opportunity to close out the series in Game 5 on Tuesday night at Madison Square Garden.